Hello there. Today we have pre-calc lesson 27, related angles and signs of trig functions. We did some of this with Algebra 2, or in Algebra 2, and we're going to go a little more in depth now. Related angles. Okay, the related angle is the acute angle between our vector and our x-axis, right? We look at these when we are converting polar to rectangular, right? If I was to draw this angle here, theta is the acute angle between the vector and the x-axis. That is also true of the same theta over here. That is my related angle. And related angles are always positive, even if we're trying to relate it to a bigger angle. Now we use this if we have angles that are large, like for example 135. We could find a related angle to it. Now I'll show you examples in a minute. Now the signs of trig functions we have our handy dandy acronym, all students take calculus. What this tells me is in the first quadrant all are positive, so cosine is positive, sine is positive, and tangent is positive. In the second quadrant, sine is positive because it's sine, students, cosine is negative, and tangent is negative. In the third quadrant, tangent is positive, cosine is negative, and sine is negative. And the fourth quadrant, cosine is positive, sine is negative, and tangent is negative. Okay, this is really important when we are evaluating different angles. So let's jump in and do some examples to make this make more sense. We want to evaluate 4 cosine of 135. Okay, so I first want to draw 135. I know this is 0, 90, 180, 270. 135 is less than 180, so I go over here. That's 135. And I know that this angle in here, theta, is going to be 180 minus 135, which is 45. Now, that 45 is convenient. So I have 45 in here. If I redraw my little triangle there, if this is 45, then I have a 45, 45, 90 triangle, 1, 1, root 2. And so I know that the cosine of 135 is similar to the cosine of 45, except that all students take calculus. In the second quadrant, cosine is negative. So the cosine of 45 is adjacent over hypotenuse, so this gives me negative 1 over root 2, which if I rationalize the denominator, I have negative root 2 over 2. So my problem, I have 4 cosine of 135, ends up giving me 4 times negative root 2 over 2, which is negative 2 root 2. Okay, the related angle relates this big angle 135 into my smaller angle 45 that I know how to use, because it's one of my 45, 45, 90 triangles. Okay, let's do another one. We want to evaluate minus 2 cosine of minus 150. So we draw our graph. Now negative means we go clockwise. So this is 0, negative 90, negative 180, negative 270. So negative 150 puts me right here. And I'm looking at my related angle, which is this acute angle here. And I know that that is going to be 30, 180 minus 150. So this little triangle here is my 30, 60, 90, which I have root 3, 1, and 2. So the cosine of negative 150, its related angle is 30, so the cosine of 30. And again, all students take calculus. Cosine is negative in the third quadrant. So the cosine of negative 150 is negative the cosine of 30. And the cosine of 30 is root 3 over 2. So negative 2 cosine of negative 150 is negative 2 times negative root 3 over 2, which gives me positive root 3. All right, let's do another. We want to evaluate 5/3 cosine of 300. So again, I have 0, 90, 180, 270, and this is 360. So 300 puts me all the way over here. This is 300. And this theta here, I do 360 minus 300, giving me that theta is 60. So it's another 30, 60, 90 triangle, giving me root 3, 1, and 2. So the cosine of 300, its related angle is 60, and all students take calculus. In the fourth quadrant, cosine is positive, so the cosine of 300 is the cosine of 60. And the cosine of 60 is adjacent over hypotenuse, is 1/2. So 5/3 cosine 300 is the same as 5/3 cosine of 60, which is 5/3 times 1/2, which gives me 5/6. Okay? We will have plenty of practice with trig functions and related angles. We will do this over and over and over and over and over and over and over. But for now, that is all you have for tonight. Enjoy the rest of your homework.